Let's make this red to symbolize the bloodbath that went on in this episode, and the anger that I have inside. Oh. Hey guys, welcome to the review show. My name is Austin. The Last of Us Season 2 and Episode 2 is out right now on HBO Max. It just a little bit of an update. Sorry a bit about the commentary being late. At the time of recording this, I'm still kind of editing it. I have one more section to edit. But I came down with like a fever and a flu the past week, and I barely was able to do reviews. And maybe that's the reason why maybe that's the reason why I didn't enjoy Sinners. I don't know. I have no idea. Maybe I was just in a bad mood. I'm gonna try to. Yeah, I'm gonna stop trying to defend myself on that aspect. But yeah, so it is out now. That's why episode 2's review is later. Make sure to go check it out. It was a ton of fun. Be expecting episode 2's commentary to be on time this time around. Hopefully. And spoiler warning. So if you haven't watched the episode yet, go check it out. Like last episode review, I'm going to go through breaking down the episode. I'm going to be a little bit more quicker this time around because actually it's pretty straightforward, but also I don't want to dwell too much on it. I like this episode a lot less than the last one. Even if the episode is providing things that I've been asking for. Like for one, the episode starts out with Abby having a dream sequence, walking through the hospital, and building suspense of her, feelings and her rage for wanting to kill Joel. That's all great and all. That's cool. Like I'm liking the build that they are doing throughout the episode. I do like the change order of how they are telling the story this time around than in the game. I think Caitlin Denver does a great job with what she's been given as Abby. I do have a kind of a problem with that she isn't. I don't think she needed to be fully buff, but there is no like any form of aging or physical difference between how she looks now from 5 years prior. She and her group, this is the problem, the same thing I have with Belle Ramsey's Ellie. They all look like they were the same 5 years ago. Everything that it seems like 5 years ago was 5 seconds ago. Like Owen has like a beard still that looks exactly the same, not like a different style of the beard. It looks exactly trimmed like it was trimmed the same like yesterday. Stuff like that sticks out to me and it kind of bugs me, and it's like I don't even know what, and it didn't click to me. It's like, why does Owen have a beard in the 5 years prior? It's like that's where you would actually be able to show like, hey, time has passed. Like, don't have him have a beard. And next he grew out like some form of facial, and like that's how they showed Abby in the game, where this rage in her of wanting to kill Joel got to her, and so she started to work out, and that's why she became buff as she was. Because at the start of when everything is happening, she was skinny, and so I didn't really have a problem as everyone else was freaking out, like, oh, why is Abby skinny? It's like, well, it's 5 years prior, and now at 5 years present, it's like she should have some form of bufftivity to her, like some form of fatigue to show like, hey, she means business. Business. She doesn't have to be swole, but it would have been kind of cool to have her be swole, because it would have been, a kind of like a big difference between Ellie and Abby. But I digress. So the episode starts out with Abby and the group in the cabin, like in the video game, looking over Jackson. This time the difference is that Owen has a plan, but the plan is to convince Abby to turn back, because it's a suicide mission. They didn't realize how big of a Jackson was, and I'm like, you know what? Makes sense. That actually does make sense. That was kind of Steve in the video game a tiny bit, but the group didn't really have a say in what was going on. Here they don't either. But they try to show the group isn't really fully comfortable with what's going on. Like they're not too sure even in themselves what is going on. And even in this episode, they are showing Abby is just rageful. Like she's out there and kind of gone. But after that, we pick up with Ellie waking up from the party from last night. Jesse waking her up like in the video game. And again, how this is a similar problem I had with the first season. Even when I first watched the first season, when it first was airing, there's times where there's actors and more than just Bella Ramsey, and you need people want to really like blame Bella Ramsey all around. It's not entirely her fault. It's other actors around her, and it's also the script. But there's times in this show where there's scenes that feel like a parody. It's way of actors that deliver their dialogue. It's how the script is written. And this scene of banter where like, oh, Jesse's like, oh, you kissed Dina. Even he was kind of giving off like weird wooden delivery. It was very strange. I didn't really get any of that in the first episode. They changed things around in this episode, like the previous episodes and stuff like in the first season. Instead of Tommy in the game, who goes off with Joel doing these scout missions before this blizzard comes along, Dina actually goes off with Joel. I'm like, okay, that's interesting. I'm curious to see where that goes, especially later on in the episode, since now they are building kind of like a relationship chemistry between Joel and Dina. This should be a very intense and sad thing that they do. And Jess and Ellie and Jesse team up instead as well in this one. So everything else kind of just plays out similar like in the game, just kind of just character swaps going around. But Tommy stays behind in Jackson and kind of helping people build more parts of Jackson and trying to prepare a possibility of a herd that might show up because they've been finding infected around in their area, and they've been even learning that infected have been using their own dead corpse, other like their other friend corpse per se is I guess the way to put it, and hiding under them, I guess as shelter, which is very interesting. And they've been finding cordyceps vines, I guess you could call it, in the water drains. So they're preparing for a battle essentially. There's a lot of like moving parts going on in this episode, which feels really nice. Like, I'm enjoying like this first half of this episode. It's all really great. Jesse and Ellie have a kind of a good fun bondage moment. They come upon Eugene's old weed store, which is pretty funny, similar in the video game aspect. And next you even see like something that's also from the video game where Ellie gets this like gas mask, but it has a bong attached to it, which is kind of funny. I like that. So there's nice little details they do. And now, so this is where things really drastically change, where Abby, who's overlooking Jackson, sees two people on a horse just passing by through, who are scouts from Jackson, of course. And so she's starting to follow them, and she starts a rampage of infected who now starts chasing her. This is kind of similar to the video game as well, where she's like running away from the infected, and she's crawling through like these like fence, like this fence area, and she gets attacked by infected, and next Joel comes and saves her. But at the time she doesn't know that is Joel, so she just thinks nothing less of it. And next, off in the distance, you hear Dina. I like this change. I thought this change was kind of nice. It's better than what they do in the game. Dina's shouting out Joel, and next Abby's able to be like, oh, okay, this is Joel, which I still have a problem with, because it's like not once she thinks of like, is this the Joel that I'm looking for? She just immediately assumes like you're the Joel, and it's like I hate that they do that same conclusion in the game, even though it's still forced dialogue in the game where Tommy's like, "Hey, my name's Tommy" to Abby, and she goes like, "And this was my brother Joel," and it's like, this is weird. Like, who would ever do this? That's stupid. And they do point out that Abby knows, like, some form of like details about Joel, like that he has a scar on his face. But they never ever use that as a way for her to identify him at all. Like there's no form of close up on his face, and there's no form of reaction of like, is this the person of what I'm looking for? What I thought what they were gonna do is that Abby and the group are gonna get taken into Jackson, and so there's going to be like somewhat of a investigation going on of her trying to figure out who Joel is. But no, everything pretty much plays out the same from here on, even with Joel being stupid for some odd reason, agreeing to go to a cabin that's far away from Jackson and meeting up with a group that he has no form of idea who they are, and just like accepting like, yeah, all right, yeah, my ideas suck, well, let's go to your group. And it's like this was the unbelievable part about the game of Joel letting his guard down. And now they tried with making the show in the first season, they tried to show that this Joel is a little bit more softer than the Joel in the video game. And maybe that's good enough for some people. I still don't believe so, because even then in the first season, Joel was still a ruthless person in certain parts, where he would basically beat up people for information and kill them with no second thought. Like he was still kind of has somewhat of trust issues. Here he's just like, all right, yeah, cool. So that's where the episode started to kind of tinker off for me a tiny bit, but then a lot of it is brought back up with majority of this episode, a lot of the infected hitting Jackson. So at first the infected was chasing Joel, Abby, and Dina, but at some point I guess someone got their attention, because they're all connected like a web. So there's like a vine of Cordyceps in Jackson. I guess they triggered it in some way for all the infected to turn around and go back to Jackson and start causing havoc. And so this was really cool. Like there was explosions happening. It was insane. They let loose of dogs, and dogs got their moments and attacking infected. It was really great. People were dying. I mean, that's supposed to be sad, but for an infected show that had no infected in the previous season, this was amazing. It was the highlight point of the whole entire episode, and I really liked it, especially when Tommy got his shining moment of taking down a freaking bloater. It was pretty cool. I honestly thought like Tommy's gonna die. He's gonna fucking die. And it's like there's no way that they are gonna kill off both brothers in this episode. It's like there's no way, but he survives, barely. But I was like, that would be kind of fucking ballsy to kill off two brothers in one episode. And that's that could honestly explain a lot of the upcoming rage that Ellie will have. Is like like not only you killed Joel, spoilers, I guess. I will get to that moment, of course, but I want to process what I'm thinking and say it. But it's like, you're the reason why a lot of people are dead. And so I do like this aspect, because it is going to set up a lot of other interesting stuff in the upcoming episodes, where Abby is responsible for a lot more than just killing Joel. Abby got a lot of innocent people killed who had nothing to even be part of with Joel's decisions from the last season, and what Abby's goal was, because she's the one that set off these infected to start even wanting to move around and start attacking. Like she's the reason. And I'm curious, and I hope that they address these, but I don't think they will. I don't think there's going to be ever a moment in this show where someone's going to be pointing out like, hey, the reason why this is happening is because of you, and you need to shut up and calm down type of deal. Like my problem with for example, like in the last episode, my issue with Ellie is that she can get away with like pushing people around. Last episode, like Tommy is like saying like, "Hey, you went off without the group, without your group, so you're gonna be on wall. That's your punishment." And Ellie, being Ellie, she whined about it, and Tommy let her, go off being patrol again, and next breaking the rules again by going off without her group and not listening to her captain. And so if they're not going to do that for Ellie, I don't think they're going to do that with Abby and say like, hey, yes, Joel did some terrible thing, but we came here to do one thing, and next that one thing turned into another thing, getting a lot more innocent people killed. So are you really any better than Joel? I don't think they're going to do that. I don't think they're going to do that, because here in this episode, Joel doesn't even say why he did what he did in the finale of the last season. He doesn't even try to defend himself, plead for, begging for his life. He does nothing. He just sits there in silence and takes it in from this random person that he doesn't know, and doesn't try to get out of the situation. He doesn't even fight back. He just like accepts his fate, and I don't like that. That's stupid. I hate that. I don't have a problem with Joel dying, but you're doing the same exact goddamn fucking thing that you did in the video game that everyone has a fucking issue with. You can have certain things still play out the same, but like adding a simple line of Joel being like, because Abby comes out to him and says like, you killed my dad, who was the doctor, and Joel could have been like, well, your dad was going to kill a little girl for a vaccine that wasn't going to work. There's none of that. He just accepts his fate, and they also knock out Dina. So when the intimate thing happens, when Joel does die, Dina is unconscious, to the point where she doesn't even have that we don't even see like a reaction from her. What was the point of swapping out with Dina and Tommy then? Like, if you're not going to play off the emotional attachment that Dina has with Joel over, it's like you built it up so then they have this emotional bond, but then she's just knocked out when it happens, so there isn't really any form of emotion there. It just plays out pretty much the same as the video game, but it's actually even more hollow, but also not hollow, because Ellie does get a moment with Joel with his dead body, and she's kind of like mourning and like hugging him. In the video game, they cut to black immediately, and they already have Joel buried. So I guess that was nice, and that kind of got me tearing up a tiny bit, but I felt manipulated. I honestly kind of did feel manipulated, because it is just cheap, lazy writing. It feel earned. None of it really felt earned. Characters refusing to give out information that would make sense in the moment to give. Like, this is such a big moment. Like, you have to get it right. You have to hit the mark. You have to nail on it. And they just simply fucking didn't. They didn't nail it at all. And this is like the first episode of this season where it really feels like they're rushing through a lot of stuff. Like I thought I thought the reason why they're going to split the game into 2 seasons is because they're going to spread things out. They're going to take their time with things, and that's the reason why there's going to be 2 seasons. But no, that's not the case. This episode just has a lot of writing issues, and it's very contrived and very forced. Like Abby, lucky enough to run upon the person that they're looking for, and Joel not saying anything, not pleading for his life. That's kind of like the actual problem I have with it, is that Joel has nothing to do in this episode. He shoots 2 infected, and next he stands around, allows Dina to be drugged, to be knocked out, and next he gets shots and he gets tortured and he gets killed. He doesn't try to fight back. He doesn't try to plead for his life. Abby doesn't show remorse at all, especially when he is worrying about his own his own people, worrying about his own family that is about to get freaking killed by infected. And Abby knows that. Abby sees that and knows that was her own doing, and she doesn't even think about like maybe we hold off on this at first, help out the people that are innocent, that have nothing to do with this, and next deal with, I guess, our personal issue. And you expect us, the audience, to like her character later when she just got a bunch of people killed? Fuck no. Fuck this episode. Honestly, fuck. I'm so yeah. I do like at the end of the episode that they played the song "Through the Valley," which again is the title of the episode. Which, funny enough, they call it Future Days episode 1, and someone pointed this out and I didn't know this, but they didn't play the Future Days song either in that one, but they played Through the Valley in this one, which is interesting. But I did like and I think this is true, but I think this but listening to the song during the credits, but listening to the song towards the end, I think they got the actor that played Ellie in the video games to sing that song, because she sings the song in the video game, and I'm pretty sure Belle Ramsey will probably sing the song in later on in the season. So that's a nice little tidbit. But yeah, this is overall very disappointing, coming off of a very high, excited previous episode to immediately just be disappointed. I'm going to give The Last of Us Season 2 Episode 2 a C+. That even though I am being torn apart, you're tearing me apart, Lisa. It is still one of the most beautiful, well-crafted episodes from a production standpoint, and it's very thrilling. The infected are awesome. Tommy has a great moment, and there's a couple funny moments in the episode, and there's a couple emotional moments. Even Joel's death is still very emotional in the episode, even though I do feel like I'm being manipulated a tiny bit, because it doesn't feel earned. Oh, it maybe it'll bounce back. We'll see. But the problem is, it feels like it's already now starting to feel like they're rushing, because there's only 7 episodes. There's only 7 episodes, and there's so much that they're gonna have to fucking do. Well, again, they're split into 2 seasons, but even then, there's still so much that they have to do to have this second season feel like a complete story. So guys, thanks for watching. Like always, I'll see you guys in the next review. Bye, guys.